A strong woman's journey begins with self-discovery, a deep and personal process that requires her to look within and truly understand who she is beyond the roles society has assigned her. She is not just a daughter, a mother, a professional, or a friend. She is a powerful being with limitless potential, and she must come to recognize that. This realization does not come from the outside world. It is something she must uncover within herself. She learns to quiet the noise of expectations, fears, and past conditioning, choosing instead to listen to her inner voice, the one that has always been there but was often drowned out by doubt and insecurity. This process is not easy. It requires her to confront her deepest fears, to acknowledge the pain she has endured, and to let go of the limiting beliefs that have kept her small. She understands that she is not a product of her past, nor is she bound by the circumstances she was born into. Through self-awareness, she begins to break free from old patterns and redefine herself on her own terms. She embraces solitude not as loneliness, but as an opportunity to strengthen her connection with herself. She realizes that the love and validation she once sought from others can only truly come from within. As she deepens her understanding of herself, she also begins to recognize the power of her own mind. She learns that her thoughts create her reality, and that by shifting her focus from fear to possibility, she can change the course of her life. She no longer dwells on what she lacks or what has been lost. Instead, she focuses on what she is building and who she is becoming. She cultivates gratitude for her journey, seeing every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Meditation has redefined her life, and she sees nothing but opportunity to grow. Through this process, she starts to rewrite the story she tells herself about who she is. She no longer sees herself as someone who must be saved, fixed, or completed by another person. She sees herself as whole, as strong, as capable. And in this newfound clarity, she discovers the foundation upon which she will build the rest of her life. The journey of self-discovery is the first and most crucial step toward becoming a woman who stands in her power, unshaken by the past and fearless about the future. Strength is not given, it is built, forged in the fire of adversity and shaped by the choices one makes in moments of hardship. A woman who builds herself alone does not have the luxury of leaning on others to rescue her. She does not wait for circumstances to change in her favor, nor does she depend on someone else to validate her worth or clear the path ahead. Instead, she rises, sometimes bruised, sometimes uncertain, but always moving forward. She understands that every challenge she faces is not meant to break her, but to reveal the depth of her resilience. There are moments when she feels the weight of the world pressing down on her, when exhaustion whispers that she should give up, when doubt creeps in, telling her she is not strong enough to do it alone. But she refuses to surrender to those voices. She learns to find strength within, to stand tall even when everything around her seems to be crumbling. She does not let failures define her. She uses them as fuel to keep going. And she understands that the struggles she faces are shaping her into a woman of unshakable character. She does not fear solitude. Instead, she embraces it as a space for transformation where she can listen to herself without external distractions. She does not wait for support that may never come. She becomes her own guide, her own motivator, her own source of courage. With every obstacle she overcomes, she proves to herself that she is capable of handling anything life throws her way. She stops seeking permission to succeed, stops waiting for approval, and instead steps fully into her power, knowing that her growth is her responsibility alone. Through the process of overcoming adversity, she becomes unbreakable. She discovers that the strength she was looking for was within her all along. And as she stands on the other side of hardship, she does not look back with regret, but with gratitude for every challenge that shaped her. Because now she is not just surviving, she is thriving. A woman who builds herself alone understands that her greatest power lies in her mind. She realizes that her thoughts shape her reality, that what she believes about herself and the world determines the life she creates. If she clings to the idea that she is a victim of her circumstances, she will remain trapped in that story. But if she decides that she is capable of change, that she can rewrite her narrative, it is not the world that must shift to accommodate her dreams. It is she who must shift her mindset to align with the life she envisions. At first, this is difficult. Years of conditioning have taught her to play small, to doubt herself, to seek approval before taking a step forward. But she begins to question these limitations. Why should she believe she is unworthy? Why should she accept fear as her default state? She realizes that every great transformation begins in the mind, and so she commits to changing the way she thinks. She starts by becoming aware of her internal dialogue, catching the moments when she tells herself she is not enough, and replacing those thoughts with ones that empower her. She refuses to let past failures define her. Instead of seeing them as proof that she cannot succeed, she views them as lessons, as evidence that she is learning and evolving. She no longer waits for the right time or perfect circumstances. She creates them by believing in herself first. She understands that confidence is not something she is born with, but something she builds through action. Each small step forward reinforces her new identity as a strong, capable woman who does not need external validation to know her worth. With this shift in mindset, she becomes unstoppable. She no longer operates from a place of fear, but from a place of possibility. She does not shrink in the face of challenges. She rises to meet them. And as she continues to rewire her mind, she sees the world change around her, not because the world itself has changed, but because she now sees it through the eyes of a woman who believes in herself. Strength is not something that appears overnight. It is cultivated through daily actions, built moment by moment through discipline, resilience, and self-care. A woman who builds herself alone understands that her growth depends on the habits she chooses to embrace. She knows that in order to become the best version of herself, she must be intentional about how she spends her time, where she directs her energy, and what she allows into her mind and heart. She does not wait for motivation to strike. She creates it through consistent practice, shaping her days in a way that aligns with the woman she is becoming. She begins with her mind, because she knows that every great transformation starts there. She takes time each day to silence the noise of the outside world, to reconnect with herself through meditation, reflection, or moments of stillness. She understands that clarity does not come from endless busyness, but from pausing long enough to hear her own thoughts. Through this practice, she trains herself to focus on what she wants rather than what she fears. She learns to redirect her energy away from negativity and toward possibility. She embraces gratitude not just as a concept, but as a way of life, choosing to see the beauty in every moment, even in the struggles. Her body, too, becomes a priority. She treats it with respect, fueling it with nourishing food, movement, and rest. She recognizes that physical well-being is deeply connected to mental strength, and so she cares for herself not as an afterthought, but as a necessity. She understands that a strong mind cannot thrive in a neglected body, so she moves with intention, builds endurance, and takes care of herself in ways that make her feel powerful, not depleted. Beyond the physical and mental, she also cultivates emotional discipline. She no longer allows external circumstances to dictate her inner state. She does not react impulsively to negativity, nor does she let the opinions of others control her. Instead, she learns to observe, to pause, and to choose her response with wisdom. She trains herself to remain grounded, even in the face of adversity. Second document, Dacia. Story 1, a disappearance from Vietnam. Over time, these daily practices become her foundation. They are not just routines. They are the building blocks of her transformation. And as she continues to show up for herself every single day, she becomes stronger, not just in mind and body, but in spirit. A woman who builds herself alone knows that her strength does not come from the approval of others, but from the unshakable belief she has in herself. She no longer waits for someone to tell her she is good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. She understands that external validation is fleeting, and if she relies on it, she will always be at the mercy of others' opinion. Instead, she learns to validate herself, to trust her own voice, and to stand firm in her decisions, even when no one else understands her journey. There was a time when she sought approval, when she measured her worth by how much others accepted her. She tried to fit into expectations, to meet standards that were never truly her own. But she realized that chasing validation only led to emptiness, because no amount of external praise could fill the void left by self-doubt. The moment she stopped looking outside herself for confirmation was the moment she became truly free. She no longer needed permission to dream big, to take risks, or to walk her own path. This shift did not come easily. At first, it was uncomfortable to stand alone, to trust herself without seeking reassurance. But with time, she began to see the power in self-reliance. She stopped explaining herself to those who could not see her vision. She stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. She embraced solitude, not as loneliness, but as a sacred space where she could grow without interference. She discovered that the more she trusted herself, the more the right people and opportunities naturally aligned with her journey. She also learned that true confidence is quiet. It does not beg for attention or seek validation. It is found in the way she carries herself, the way she makes decisions, and the way she remains unshaken in the face of doubt. She is no longer affected by whispers of criticism or the fear of judgment. She knows who she is, and that, by choosing self-approval over external validation, she has given herself the greatest gift, the freedom to be fully, unapologetically herself. And in that freedom, she has discovered the kind of strength that cannot be taken away. A woman who builds herself alone does not rise only for herself. Her journey becomes a source of inspiration for others. She may have started in solitude, relying solely on her own strength, but as she grows, she realizes that her transformation has a ripple effect. Every challenge she has faced, every battle she has fought, and every lesson she has learned carries the power to uplift those who are still searching for their own strength. Every challenge she has faced, everything she has learned carries the power to help others defeat unceasing hope for their own strength. Without even trying, she becomes a beacon for others, a living example that it is possible to break free from limitations and build a life of purpose and resilience. She does not need to stand on a stage or speak loudly about her struggles. Her actions speak for themselves. People notice the quiet confidence in her walk, the unwavering certainty in her decisions, and the peace that radiates from her. They see a woman who no longer seeks validation, who has mastered her mind, who has turned her pain into wisdom. And in seeing her, they begin to wonder if they too have that strength within them. She understands the responsibility that comes with growth. She knows what it feels like to be lost, to doubt, to struggle in silence. And so, without forcing or preaching, she extends her wisdom to those who need it. Maybe it is through a kind word, a shared experience, or simply by existing as proof that transformation is possible. She does not need to save anyone. She only needs to show them that they are capable of saving themselves. But she also knows that not everyone will understand her journey. Some will resist her growth. Some will question her choices. And some will even try to pull her back into the person she used to be. She does not take this personally. She has learned that people can only meet her at the level of their own understanding, and she no longer wastes energy trying to be accepted by those who do not see her worth. Instead, she focuses on those who are ready, those who see her strength and are inspired to find their own. By walking her path with authenticity and courage, she gives others permission to do the same. She becomes proof that no matter where you start, no matter how alone you feel, you have the power to create yourself. And in that, she fulfills her purpose, not just as a strong woman, but as a guiding light for others.